Hello everyone, welcome to our channel, and thanks for joining us again today for another Sims 4 speed build video. And today we are building a 3-in-1 lot. And I know this isn't really a thing in The Sims, but I like to build lots that are very realistic. So this has the potential to be one of three things, whatever you pick. It can be a cafe, it can be a plant shop, so retail lot, or it can be an apartment, and it's all up to you and what you decide you want it to be. So right now I have it set up as a cafe. I just figured that would bring in more people and make it seem really lively, but it could work very well as a retail shop, and then your sim could technically live upstairs. It wouldn't be considered their residential home lot, but it would make it seem very realistic that that's their apartment. Or, I mean, hey, you live in an apartment, you work at the cafe downstairs, whatever you want to do. But I really like doing these all-in-one lots because I feel like they just are so much more realistic, and I like how they look in the game. And I've done some other ones of these, so if you go onto the gallery and you look up my ID, which is chaos_cuteness, I have some other like 3-in-1 lots. Like I did in the past one where it was a tea shop, it was a plant shop, and then, yes, a plant shop. I can't remember if that was an apartment or maybe it was just the two things. I did do one that it was a bookshop, an apartment, and a hair salon. And that one was really fun. I really enjoyed that. Was there something else? Was that a 3? Was there? I don't know. I've done some other ones like this and they're just a lot of fun. And I feel like I said, they bring a lot more realism to the game. So depending on what you want it to be, you can choose. So right now I'm just kind of setting up the exterior and getting it structurally set, and don't be disappointed because I'm just doing the structural stuff now, and then I go inside, and at the very end I come back outside and I do all the landscaping and add all the details that way. I really like doing my builds that way. I feel like that makes the most sense to me, and the landscaping and all the exterior stuff is just kind of like the cherry on top of the cake. So hopefully you're okay with how I do it that way. It might not look as pretty to begin with, but yeah, this is just getting kind of basics set up. So basically this building, I'll explain a little bit. So we have the cafe that's going to be on the left here, and I figured that was the older part of the building that's been there for a really long time. And in my mind, I was kind of thinking, this could have been like an old pharmacy way back in the day. I don't know. I kind of felt like this is what it was, and then it was turned into a cafe. So anyways, that's what is on the left, and then yes, it is. On the right, which will end up being the plant shop, I figured that was a newer addition, so that part doesn't look so fancy. It's just basically like concrete blocks, and that was added on way later in time. Oh yeah, so we are building in Newcrest, and this is on a 30 by 20 lot, and the final price of this ended up being, yes, you ready for it? $112,000. So it's a lot, but considering everything that this lot has, I don't think that that's too bad. So I am really excited to kind of start building some more community lots in Newcrest. They have like this strip on the right hand side of the map that I think they very much set up for like retail and business and community lots. So I'm really excited to add to that. Oh, so, and talking about this right now, this portion, a couple things. So that bar that I put in that has a half wall, yes, is functional. I tried that. And right here, these are actually shelves and not a table, but you can sit at those bar stools. So it looks very realistic, like you're sitting at a table. I would have really liked to get a laptop on this table, but because it's a shelf, it didn't work out. There's not actually a lot of seating, as you'll see in the inside part of the cafe, and I figured this was more of a place where people quick come get a drink, get their coffee, most likely get it to go, or they get it to go and then they go check out the plants next door. But outside there is going to be a nice decent sized patio area. So I don't know, I just thought that was kind of how I was going with this. A quick come in, get your food and drink, and stick around maybe for like 10 to 15 minutes and then leave. So it was still very much inspired by our new plant kit that I was kind of thinking when I started this, what do I want to do this week for a build? I'm like, I really still want to do something with plants that feature a lot of plants. And I know a lot of people have been building plant shops, so I'm sorry if that's a little old, but I also figured, so I'm going to bring in, yes, I'm going to bring in more than just a plant shop, and it's going to be a cafe. Yes, thank you for in my ear. So more than a plant shop, that it's also a cafe and an apartment. Oh yeah, and something else I built that's on the gallery in the past, before we got the plant kit, was a cafe that featured a lot of plants. I think it was like the Green Thumb Cafe or something like that. And that was with the eco lifestyle pack. So I built it in that world, and I had a lot of fun doing that. So I can only imagine if I had the plants back then when I built it, I would have been even happier with it. I think it turned out really good. I was going for a kind of industrial look and then trying to be more green. It was a lot of fun. So I don't know what it is about cafes and plants. The two just seem to go really well together. So I just really wanted to do that again, but I'm like, all right, we're gonna have a separate plant shop. Oh my goodness. Sorry, he's being very noisy today. But I wanted these two businesses to be kind of like mutual businesses. So I feel like, okay, grumpy. One is not going to take away from the other. No, they're not. They're going to support each other. So you take your coffee and go look at the plants, or you come to get some plants and then you're like, hey, I want some coffee. So I figured it would be mutually beneficial for both businesses. So I think this works really well. So the shelf here with all the debug stuff, I'm sorry, it's like with the shelving, I had to. Are you going to be loud the whole time? I had to like put a bunch of coffee in random places so it would stop snapping to the shelf. So that's why it looks kind of weird of how I was doing it, but I couldn't really get it any other way to snap correctly. So yeah, that's the bar there that is functional, which I didn't know it was going to be. Otherwise I figured it was for looks, but your Sims can actually sit there and eat whatever they got as a pastry or their coffee. So yeah, I was excited that ended up working. And right here, these side tables, I started off with 2, and later you'll see I ended up deleting one. I figured it was just too much and I wanted more room for a table and chairs, which didn't add a lot of seating, but I figured like, okay, it needs something else here. This is just too much. So later on you will see I will kind of change the camera view and come in here and add a table and chairs. So this build, the big packs that I ended up using, that I use the most things from, so definitely get to work. There is some really cool windows and doors in that pack, and so that's what the windows on the cafe side are from, and the door, and then these are Machino pack stuff. So the door and the windows on the plant shop side, the more industrial, newer section, is all Machino. And yeah, they have really, really cool industrial stuff. And I did not get the industrial kit yet, and I contemplated it for this build, and then I'm like, you know what, I don't really need it. And I know not everyone is a fan of kits, so I didn't really want to use that. But I don't know. If you guys want to see a build using that, let me know, and I would get it. I probably will get it in the future. But yeah, just try not to upset too many people. I'm already using all the plants from the new kit, so just maybe one kit at a time. But as I've said before, the plants in the new kit, the Blooming Rooms kit, are really, really good. I'm really enjoying using these plants. The textures, all but one, that desert rose one, are very, very good. It's so pretty. It adds so much more to the game. And I know the next kit people have been asking for is a clutter kit, and I would absolutely love that. That is something else I would buy. I think a lot of other builders would too. So now we are moved on to the plant shop side, and this is kind of a pain, which is weird. I don't know why when you have 2-story high areas like this, you have to put the flooring back in to get the lights to go to the 2nd story, which makes no sense to me. They should just automatically go up there, because otherwise, what are they hanging on? Doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that's what I was doing. Adding the floor, deleting the floor, anything that I wanted hanging from the ceiling on the 2nd floor, that's what you have to do, unfortunately. Also, I realized building this, that retail counter that the cash register sits on, the Sims team did not update the swatches on that. So this matches with the base game industrial counters, which we got a lot more swatches for. Yeah, we did. We really did. And they didn't update this counter to match. So I was very disappointed, and I only had 3 swatches to pick from. Thankfully, the one I picked went really good with the flooring I was using. Otherwise, I would have been not happy. But for other builds that you want to use those counters and the new swatches for, you don't have this matching retail counter, which is really frustrating. And I did tweet the Sims this issue, which they probably didn't see it, but hopefully they realize that this is something that needs to be updated. Yeah, because with all this industrial stuff, I feel like this is very important. And then that counter, you don't necessarily need to use for retail space. You might want to use it in an industrial apartment. It looks really cool. I really like that one. That's my favorite counter from the Get to Work pack for a retail counter. I had so much fun doing this plant shop. It was a blast. I really enjoyed doing the cafe, and I did enjoy doing the apartment, but this was so fun. And this industrial shelf here, I really like that piece, and that's from the new kit, which, I mean, pretty much everything in here is from the new kit, plant-wise. I did add some other plants, like this is base game plant, and then there's, there's some other plants that were added in, but most of this stuff is from the kit. Oh, and that other shelf on the opposite side is eco lifestyle. So some few other little pieces here and there, but most of the stuff is from the new kit. So I feel like there was actually a decent amount of stuff, and I mean, pretty good to where I can almost furnish a whole plant shop. So I think that's pretty good. So anyways, I had a lot of fun doing these community lots. Sometimes I'm not in the mood to do community lots, and then there's times where now I feel like I just want to make a ton of community lots. I don't know. Inspiration is weird how that works. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and like I said, I'm looking forward to kind of finishing this row in Newcrest, and then I really should work on some houses in Newcrest. I built previously a spa, which is also on the gallery, and you can check that video out on my YouTube channel as well. Yes, Mr. Grumpy is extremely grumpy. So yeah, the spa is in Newcrest. So I'm kind of getting some stuff into Newcrest, but then I'm also thinking, I don't know what style I really want to do in Newcrest. I feel like I'm gonna do probably 2 or 3 different styles. I don't know. Stuff that I've already built in the past in Newcrest has been modern. So I might have like a modern section, and then I still feel like Newcrest is kind of part of like some of the base game stuff. So having like that Louisiana vibe, like I feel like they're all kind of interconnected. So then it's like, would that be kind of strange to bring in these different architectural styles? I think it would work, but I don't know if you know what I mean, and you kind of look around the world, I don't know if it'll just be out of place. I think I can make it work. But yeah, I have to still decide what areas I want to be what. But I don't know how I kind of did this style here for the downtown. I feel like I would continue on through the whole downtown. I think it's kind of fun, this style. So here's adding that table back in. So taking out that other side table and then just adding more room for seating. And then I moved that shelf with the tea canisters with the plants in it. Oh, I love that. That is one of my favorite things in the new kit. It's so cute. So of course I had to use it again in this. So now we are on to the apartment, and this is a very simple studio apartment, so not anything fancy. I kind of left that exterior wall in here. I figured we'd leave it kind of old and unfinished, and then we got some more modern things that came in here, like the kitchen's obviously more modern, but otherwise it's small, it's basic, and I think it's kind of fun. I liked how this turned out. And yeah, just doing some different things with the shelving that I don't normally do. I wanted it to look more modern and open, to also go with that open concept of the studio apartment. And I think it turned out really well. And then we get this little nook here at the front door, and I really like this. I really, really like this. It's just this cute little space, and then just throwing your shoes and hanging up stuff when you come in. I really liked how that turned out. So you can get 2 Sims into here, and you probably could squeeze in like a small cat or dog, but I was kind of thinking that only one person is living here since it is pretty tight. But yeah, if you really wanted to, you could squeeze in, like I said, another Sim, maybe a cat or a small dog, and I think it could work. Totally up to you. But yeah, doing the shelving here, this was fun, adding in all the little details, and yeah, doing something different, and I really enjoyed it. So anyways, in my mind, I was kind of picturing a single guy that lives in this apartment and that he works at the cafe downstairs. That was just kind of the story in my head when I was building this. So yeah, I don't know, the black and white, I just figured is a little bit more masculine looking, but it's also modern, so I mean, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, in my mind, I figured that, I don't know, this guy lives by himself and he doesn't mind being squished in, and he works downstairs and it's just convenient. So I think Flynn would like to say hi, and maybe this is why he was so grumpy, because he just really wanted to say hi to everyone. So hopefully that makes you feel better, Flynn. So you may have noticed too, when we were working on the cafe downstairs, that I did not include the bathrooms. And just because this was a bigger and longer build, I figured that would be a little bit boring to sit and watch 2 kind of identical bathrooms be built downstairs and just for public restrooms. But there will be pictures at the end of the video, so you won't miss out on it completely. Nope. And then I did keep in the bathroom up here in the studio apartment just because I figured I should at least leave one in. Once again here, I'm using those cool vines. I used those in last week's build. Now that I have remembered that we have those, that was the romantic garden stuff pack. I really like those. And then you'll see I use that outside later. Yeah, I don't know. They're pretty fun. I don't know why I haven't used them a whole lot. I guess I try not to use a lot of the smaller packs because I know people don't always have those, but then I can't help myself and I'm so sorry. If you wanted me to do some limited pack builds, which I have done some, let me know because I can do that. Do you want to say hi again? He's very antsy. He loves you guys so much. He wants to say hi. Does that make you feel better? Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, you're grumpy, huh? You can't be in front of the camera the whole time. No. That little kitchen area, I really liked how that turned out. Flynn. I was trying to make it very lived in, and I wanted it to look like, yeah, there's definitely someone here and they left stuff out and the grocery bags, and I like that. I'm not always hugely into a lot of clutter because I like things tidy, but I'm like, nah, I want this to be look like it's very lived in. Right here I sectioned off the apartment, so I didn't want to completely close it in, and I didn't want to use a room divider, so I figured like this would be really good to have these big huge glass windows that still allow the light to go through, but it's a little bit broken up that way. And then I do something really unique a little bit later. As you'll see, for more privacy, you'll have to just wait a little bit and you'll see what I mean. So yeah, this cute little area for watching TV. I also like how this turned out. It is very squished though, but hey, that's life in a studio apartment. Once again, using a lot of those plants from the new kit. Super fun. And then I'm going to add in, oh yeah, I changed this up a little bit. I was just not happy how that was sitting against the wall. I like this much better. But then after this, we're going to be moving on to doing a little desk area. So I tried to get as much stuff as possible into this apartment without it being insanely tight and cluttered. I mean, it is, but I still feel like it appears to be pretty open, which is exactly what I was going for. For a small apartment, I don't think this turned out too bad, and I feel like it is pretty realistic. So if you're living in the city and you're close to everything, you end up usually getting a smaller apartment because that's the most affordable thing. And then yeah, all these apartments that are over businesses, and yeah, I really liked how this turned out, and I really want to do some more community lots like this where there's the apartment and other businesses mixed in. So I hope you're enjoying it as much as I did for building this. And if you haven't already, don't forget to give us a like. That'll help us out a lot, and subscribe to our channel because we do some fun stuff here. And then you get to see this cute guy when he's not being grumpy and troublesome. He's acting a little bit weird now because I had to put something over my computer screen so he would stop flying up there. He's being a little bit of a brat right now. Yeah. Life with pets, right? So we're just finishing up this part in the apartment, and then we're going to be moving to the bathroom, and then finally to the outside, which was super fun too, because that just pulled everything together, made it look very realistic and busy, like people are here. So stick around, you'll see that, and I will have pictures at the end so you can see everything in its final form. But I will let you relax with the rest of the video, and so just enjoy. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for all of you that have continued to support us. I really, truly appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. like I said, enjoy, and we will see you next week. Bye!